Hopefully you can. It is day 10. I forgot to update the title with the day, but it's day like 4 or something. I think maybe day 3. Um, yeah, so today we're continuing what we were doing yesterday. Um, and yesterday we were on the cusp of implementing um, the headless crawlers, and we were also on the cusp of experimenting with content generation pipeline that we were studying. So, of course, as you know, I started work like early, and I have already sort of done some work on this. The idea being, I took the liberty of just like trying out Flow to some extent. Um, if I could like only find it. So basically, I use Flow, which is like this Google product, um, and it allows you to like not only generate like AI videos, but also like stitch them together into like one massive video. The only thing I feel I didn't do properly was flowing from like one scene to another. I genuinely didn't do that well enough, at least in my own like like now that I've done one, I realize all the ways I could have actually done this better. So yeah, what I was doing, so like as you know, I created this prompt which would give me like this massive thing, and again I need to iterate on the prompt as well because I understand exactly what I want to accomplish from now on. So depending on how, okay, we can't really base it on one video. This is something we're going to have to do progressively over time, and then we'll see um, the type of engagement that we get from those. And ideally, like if we make the videos better, which we should be able to do that, we should get some kind of output on that. Um, and yeah, so it generates like these descriptions of like scenes and people, and then I use these to generate images, and then I stitch together images to generate videos. And these videos are so sloppy, like, but you know, that is kind of the vibe. We don't really care too much about the content quality, we just care more about the story, which is why there is also this aspect of being voiceover, the AI voiceover, and I actually use Google AI Studio to narrate the voiceover as well. So Google AI Studio has like a really good AI voiceover narration type of thing. So afterwards, I have a local module that is able to like stitch these together and make sure that the audio and the video are actually sort of on track. And by the end of it, we are able to come up with something a little cool, maybe. Um, Let me try and actually find it. So here it is.
Everything's fine. Seriously, we finally achieved perfect real-time universal empathy. You know what it costs carrying around this giant fleshy sky noodle that tracks my location? Do you ever feel like you're intimately connected to the soul of the universe, but the universe just has really bad vibes? Here's the catch. Turns out, hearing everyone's innermost thoughts at once is just the ultimate physical doomsday. I was in line for an oat march yesterday and I perfectly felt the barista's existential dread about his student loans mixed with the guy behind me mentally ranking Shrek movies. It's a lot. Also, the clean teardrops with the bloody diverging axles keep bottlenecking the emotional bandwidth for airdrop kryptonite directly into our prefrontal cortex. Like, no, guy, I'm just trying to disassociate in peace. I don't want your blockchain mixtape. I tried unplugging once, but boy, it was worse. It was just dial-up noises in my own thoughts. Should we just sync the GMT plus 2 log
It's basically about like this world where everyone is like connected through these wires, um, and everyone might be connected, but like no one's actually connected. Like no one's talking to each other because there's no reason to talk, because they can just like hear each other's thoughts. So everyone feels what other people feel, and like it as convenient as it is, it's also very very inconvenient. And yeah, I think it's a really good first project. But like as I was saying, there's like you might have noticed how bad the video was, and that's just because when I was I would generate like one scene and then oh okay. Okay, so yeah, I would generate a scene and then I would immediately generate a new image and then use those to generate things. When what I should have been doing is generating an image and then using that to generate a scene, and then going through the scene, finding that last frame of that scene, and then taking a screenshot and then using that to generate the next image, just so that things flow naturally. Um, and yeah, I mean, I also should have like generated like different types of shots of my characters, so like close-ups, long views, all these scenes of the people, just so that I have more assets to play around with when the time comes. I'm thinking of like doing it in a more structured fashion so that everything is like more coherent going forward. And ideally, I should get like really really good results. So yeah, maybe like generating these like once per day, just like on a trial run, because like we have access to Flow anyway, we might as well do it. Besides that, I was also testing out a content generation thing. I kind of don't like the output right now. I have to iterate on the prompt, but X is primarily a text-based platform, so people come on here to read. They don't come here to watch videos. Like if you want to watch videos, you can always go to like Instagram or TikTok. You know, you don't come here to watch videos. You come here to read. So yeah, I want to give them something to read, of course, and like I could definitely write the content myself. And I feel like that's mostly what I'm going to be doing anyway. Right? I won't just like take this AI content and just like post it. I will thoroughly curate it before posting. But I want to eliminate as much grunt work as possible on my own hands, which is why I want to perfect the prompt so that it at least gets me like 70% of the way there instead of 30%. So yeah. Besides that, as I was saying, the work current, like we have a somewhat fully functional system that is able to get like crawl anytime we do a search, but like when we return information, the search information just isn't enough. And I can actually like show it to you right now. This headless crawlers are currently running on their side. Let me just like show you. So let me ask for like some niche information that I definitely don't have. How's all this cities for me? And realistically speaking, this will give a solution maybe within 30 seconds. But in the back end, since we don't have information about Sinisuni in our massive database that just keeps increasing and increasing every time we do a search, And like when I say increasing, I genuinely mean it. This is getting out of hand now. Like this is huge. And there's so many connections now, it's kind of crazy. But like the more searches we do, the more connections we'll draw. Yeah, it's gonna be like a massive expansion. It's gonna be pretty impressive. We might actually need to like migrate this to some server somewhere else, just so that we don't mess around over here, because like once we start getting like proper traffic, and that's something we're okay with, but right now just for like development purposes this is totally fine. So yeah, it would okay, it started crawling, trying to find information on Sydney Sweeney. It found 3 articles, and then it scraped one of them, and then it's now extracting the substrate, which basically means that it's adding the information to the knowledge graph or the KG database. Yeah, previously it was just like the actual, I want to say server, but like the application just didn't know enough about Sydney Sweeney, as I said, and so this triggered a demand, because as much as we were able to do a just-in-time knowledge search on Sydney Sweeney, which is probably based on her Wikipedia. We also like, and just so that we had something to return, as I said, because we probably returned something within 30 seconds, which we did. We initially missed, but we triggered a just-in-time ingestion from Wikipedia, and yeah, we got like a bunch of information on her. But still, this isn't enough in case someone asks us in the future as well, which is why we do like these scrapes to add on to the knowledge that we have on Sydney Sweeney next time someone asks us. And yeah, like here it's able to find 4 claims, 11 entities, and immediately map those where they belong in the database, which is pretty cool. And it does these for so we go and search for like 5 entries, but it takes the top 3 ones and just adds those, having filtered out the ones that we don't need. And this takes 2 minutes on top of the original JIT search, and this should be like away from the eyes of everyone. Realistically, this headless crawling system should be functional like all the time, based on what's trending, what other people are searching for in other networks or other things online, basically like what's important right now. And with the just-in-time knowledge ingestion, should allow us to like have a really good system in our hands that's like super reliable, and it will grow with the demand shown by users. So yeah, I think it's pretty solid. I'm currently moving based on what we initially had, which was just like a simple knowledge graph that could allow like basic retrieval. Now we've actually knocked off this demand-driven headless crawling, and we've also knocked off this just-in-time knowledge ingestion. We actually knocked it off like in the previous expansion, and now it's time to actually tackle this temporal graph versioning. In order for me to tackle this, I actually don't immediately prompt this guy to do it, because what he'll do is he will just like immediately try and build out something based on what he knows here. I would like to get an external view that hasn't touched anything, and like just fresh eyes basically. And I would ask it something like, oh, how would you implement something like this given this situation? And then they would obviously go, okay, this is this and this and that, and this and this and that, and I'd be like, yeah, okay, cool. And then after that, we're doing like advanced MCP drill downs, because like if someone isn't like if someone is specifically looking for a certain piece of information but they don't want to go to Wikipedia to find it, because then they'd be taking the entire article, and all they wanted was Sydney Sweeney's age, and the only reason they don't know her age is because they just didn't have it in their knowledge base, right? They didn't have it in memory. And going, like as I said, going to some site would just be way too much of a waste of tokens. Like they can obviously just like come to us and get that really, really, important knowledge and just some really useful data. So yeah. So yeah, let's get going. Listening to is it a breakcore mix? Might be a breakcore mix. Oh yeah. I was listening to this one previously. This one is incredible. It's as the kids say, it's fire. It's been raining for like 2 days straight here in Cape Town. There's some really terrible stuff happening. I hope people are okay. Okay, let me actually just like approach this game. Oh. Oh. And it seems we're back. You can leverage this multimodal media to handle both cloud to local intent to high partitioning. Relationship. Okay, what we want to handle next is do like versioning, like in case we're just like really bad data, and like we just want to roll back the decision in previous issues if it's just like incorrect. Maybe our model may get the wrong inference about who someone was or what they do, whatever, and like we keep feeding that information, the more trustworthy we become as like a source of information, the better it is for everyone. Um, so our ability to ensure that that's the case will obviously like be the highest priority. Um, so we want to do like versioning on the data that we're storing, and so this is what we're looking at currently. And it seems my internet is horrible today. So. Okay, implementation, keep a single entity node, add valid from and valid to the claimed and new release to your edges. Active facts are valid to equals no, high date. Minimal schema changes raised of the output of new string standard red, adding a simple unit of the valid to no. Relationship property and sample names aren't as performant as known property from indexing. That's interesting. One thing I'm worried about with this case is that we have multiple connections for the same property. So maybe imagine if someone is like not married, so they're single, and then suddenly they become married. Now we have an update to our database, and now that connection, the single node would get updated and basically made invalid, but it would still be connected. And then there's going to be like a new node that says, oh, they're married, which is, yeah, I'm not sure if I like that. Version node change. Okay, instead of updating an existing node, you create a new version of the document or claim node and link them together in a time chain. What? When a website ID is detected, you create a new document node, you connect to document 2, so there's 2.1. The entity remains a single anchor node, but it connects to a specific version of the claim. Okay, yeah, this actually might be solid. Yeah, as they're saying, like for auditing, if the idea is like minor updates of like web sources should all be tracked, then that's this might be the best one so far, at least. Yeah. We could like load the nodes that exist, because for every update we try to actually like ingest every single update just so that we don't lose information. But the more we do that, the more nodes we'll generate, and then most of those nodes might even be useless because like those updates might just be like minor updates. Yesterday I was like conceptualizing doing updates like every month on like major websites, like as long as they show that they're still relevant, then updating is definitely useful. Like if you want to update on searches that are being made now and searches that are still being made elsewhere, right? You want to, that's really what you want. You want things that are highly relevant, and if something isn't relevant anymore, we don't need to keep updating it, or rather it'll just update itself the next time someone searches for it, So realistically, maybe the bloat might not actually be an issue. That's something worth thinking about. Let's look at option 3. The current state anchor, which is a hybrid. It addresses the performance of problem of option 2 by maintaining a direct link to the truth. We have a static entity node and a special relationship to the most recent version of this data. Okay. The stronger versions are still not valid, but are reached by traversing backward from the latest node. In the current world, this keeps those queries on one while keeping history available for the change to query. Target properties relationship version by editing from rank. Show every edge includes create at, valid from, and from becomes true. Valid to inclusion. Data that you may remove. This energy for us around. Valid to one, I think this is the trade prioritize fetch data on the retrieval site and actually do time travel. Okay, this is not bad. Tagging the edges rather than duplicating nodes, you prevent the graph from becoming a hairball of redundant entities, which is what we don't want. Keep your vector index cleaner because you only need to embed the active themes. Standard retrieval while keeping your circle for semantic memory. Do you want to see this specific logic? No. Fine. I mean, this seems like a good enough idea. Let me rename this to temporal graph version. Okay, now it's time to the first step in the extension plan. I like asking them what they think, because at the end of the day, how much am I actually using? Instead of just telling, oh, do this, I'm just gonna say, you have more context on the current set of issues that could affect us. Tell me what you think, and if there is a problem, then look a better path towards a solution. You see, just like that. He has to respectfully disagree. The proposed recommended strategy is the industry standard for pure knowledge graphs, but it is the wrong choice for vector search engine. In RKDB, the LSM vector index is attached to nodes, specifically shown on documents, not edges. If you use edge version, you search for LeBron's team. The vector engine hits the text of the claim node LeBron plays for the Cavaliers. LeBron does not play for the Cavaliers. Because the vector search returns the node directly, the database doesn't immediately know the edge is expired until it performs a secondary graph traversal to check the valid to edge property. This creates a massive performance bottleneck and clutters your vector results with outdated facts. Because we're doing semantic vector search, we need to filter out all the information before it even hits the LLM. The absolute best way to do this is to version your documents and claims while keeping entities as timeless anchors. Here's the bulletproof architecture for this. Schema, instead of putting dates on edges, we put an isLatest true flag on document claimants along with script that timestamp. The ingestion logic. When the headless crawler scraps the URL of the existing graph, it queries the graph for all documents that share the source route. This equals false on the old document and all disconnected claims. It ingests the new document and it clears it. If it's true, it draws an edge. This makes your vector search unbelievably fast, which is add one condition to your vector retrieval query. The vector engine instantly drops all historical tags from the summary search. Close usually conducting specific seeds if an agent says it which change to do 1.5 you can just start after kind of looking and reverse backwards down the services chain entire historical timeline. Pushing the entire state from the edges to a holding flag and more perfectly align the updated PD's vector indexing engine if you get the spirit I can do update taking out these latest new plans into the project. I have one question. Is there a way to I don't want to say ingest, but to realistically, and again this is me thinking things through in my own way, there might be cases where updates are not managed. So invalidating entire edges of the document might not be the best case. So how we implement some kind of inheritance based on comparing previous and what would actually change? Or maybe the information where saving and relative currently not enough to make this kind of difference. I have to glaze it just a little bit. Good analysis. I will misspell analysis because I'm human. Yes. I think it's like a really good question. You know, like invalidating entire, like I'm thinking in the case of like Wayne Rooney, we probably got like a lot of information on him when we like did a simple search for him. So if ever that Wikipedia page for Wayne Rooney changes, now all of that information will just get invalidated for some reason, even though realistically maybe they would change like one thing, maybe they change whether like his marital status. So it just went from single to married. Like, if one thing changes, you don't have to invalidate everything. You know? Semantic node bloat. If a website fixes a typo and is further invalidated, 50 perfectly valid claims is a colossal waste of vector space. Yeah. We can absolutely implement state errors, and we already have all the data we need to do without even running expensive AI comparisons. Cool. Deterministic hash. Okay, buddy. Okay. Right now in core DB write-up.py, I'm generating a unique ID for every claim like this. Because the doc ID changes every time we scrape the page, the exact same claim with a brand new ID, forcing the database to create a duplicate. If we simply change the hash to use the social instead, here's exactly what happens when changing. Okay. The overlap. When the crawler rescrapes the site, Gemini extracts the claims. If the fact hasn't changed, the claim dot in a string remains identical. The hash generates the exact same ID. When it hits the database, ArcadeDB uses the merge command to silently absorb it into the existing node. It just updates a last seen at timestamp with 0 bloat. crazy. Okay. If a new paragraph was added to the website, Gemini extracts a new claim, the hash is brand new, AutoDB creates a new node and marks it if it equals true. This is and like based on the previous logic, it's like we create only these new sort of flags for checking whether a node is like the latest or not, and if we just keep updating these, this might be the best way to do this. And obviously there might be times where we need to delete information if we find it to be like incorrect or whatever. So after the ingestion finishes, we run a lightning fast cleanup query panel claim from this URL. When our sender is over 5 minutes, mark them as easily as equals false. Okay. What is the ultimate solution? It perfectly tracks the delta without using the extra tokens. The foundational fact that stays in one page for 5 years will be represented by one signal that just has a constantly updated maximum. We still maintain full tempo filtering for vector search, but we completely eliminate redundant data. Mind you, it's not just claims, right? For every type of information we make this into, allowing us to make changes in okay, this is fine. So while that's going, I kind of want to okay, I feel like the only reason this content sucks is just because of how, like, what I asked it to do. I asked it to write content based on this. Like, I need to make it more generalized. This is a much better premise. After 10 infinite searches is kind of crazy. Most modern agents have like context limitations of like 1 million, so it would take way more internet searches, like 100, maybe like 100 internet searches. Mind you, even after 100 internet searches, it's probably generating tokens for thinking, so that's like a few. I like this already. Your agent has Alzheimer's. By the 10th search query, it forgets your name, is co-directed, and the exact reason you compiled it, suffocating under the bloated, unoptimized graveyard of HTML that constituted the modern web. Your API build doesn't care. It's 3:14 AM. You are watching your influence cause spike rate because your RAG pipeline is swallowing 8,000 tokens of cookie consent banners, SEO filler, and About Us page garbage just to scrape a single pricing tier. The context window is choked. The logic degrades into a hallucinatory mess. Raw text is a tax. We built a self-healing cognitive loop introduction to hijack the unstructured wreckage, cutting the noise before it hits your context window and forging an intelligent substrate that actually scales. Okay, this is some BS. Like the rest of this, um, I would honestly end it like right there, like where it's like vertex to the text, and then I'll be some like, um, but you don't have to pay, or like the smartest people don't have to pay, you know, something like that. It's pretty hard. I, like I like this prompt. See, I knew I like all I really had to do was like tweak it just a little bit. Anyway, people like this type of hard hitting, you know, stuff that like you read that first line, you immediately stop scrolling. It's so hard. Your agent has Alzheimer's, but the 10th search query it forgets your name is called out to any exact reason you compiled it. Okay, you didn't actually compile it, but I'll change this like compiled it to act. Suffocating under the bloated, unoptimized graveyard of HTML that constitutes the modern web. I'm gonna put quotes around the modern web because the web is changing. Your API build doesn't care. It's 3:14 a.m. You're washing. Your inference costs by grid because your RAG pipeline is swallowing 8,000 tokens of cookie consent banners. This is so hard. I want to swap. Your agent has Alzheimer's. On the 10th search query, it forgets your name, its core directive, and the exact reason you compelled it to act, suffocating under the bloated, unoptimized graveyard of HTML that constitutes the modern web. It's 3:14 a.m. Your API build doesn't. Okay. The 10th search query, it forgets your name, core director, and the exact reason you compile it to act, suffocating under the bloated, unoptimized graveyard of HTML that constitutes the modern web. Your API build doesn't care. It's 3:14 a.m. And neither do you. Clearly. It is 3:14 a.m. Okay, now I kinda. Which one hits harder? Fuck. It is 3:14 a.m. at the front. Your API build doesn't care, and neither do you, clearly. Touching your bed with your half-open laptop beside your pillow. If you're awake, you'd be watching this infinite called Spike Red because your RAG pipeline is swallowing 80,000 tokens. Spike. because your red pipeline is swallowing 80,000 tokens of cookie consent because your filler and about us page garbage just to scrape a single price into. The context window is choked, the logic degrades into a hallucinatory mess. No text is a tax, are you still paying? This is so hard, it's so hard. It's so hard. Holy. That was so hard.
Our favorite here.
I'm a proud cuck. I like pimp my boyfriend out to my hot girlfriend. You know, he can do what he wants, and like I get turned on by that, and like people just can't comprehend it.
He puts his wee wee in your friends, and then you go, yay!
Initially, I wanted to watch, but I feel like that'd be disrespectful for the girls that are involved.
Whose idea was it?
Oh, it was my idea. He was very monogamous before me, but then I was like encouraging him to, you know, partake.
How did that come up? Were you like, you wanna fuck my friend?
Oh yeah, literally.
That's literally exactly how it happened.
We were at this like influencer party, and one of my friends, like, she's really attractive, and then she was like, "Oh, Kira, I'm so horny," and I was like, do you want to go home and fuck my man before you go to the club? And she's like, sure. And so I went to my boyfriend. I was like, do you think she's hot? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let's go home.
In that moment, I would have been like, this is a setup. Ew.
Believed it.
Feeling sus right now. Is she testing us?
Why would she just go, because I've never just, hey Nick, I'm fucking horny.
I'll be like, Bart, get the fuck away from me. Don't fucking say that to me again.
What's your relationship with
Please don't share that with me.
She was young. She was like 22 at the time.
And she's just very open.
And down to fuck your man?
I think he's tall. He's like 6'4".
Good looking guy.
Every time I go to the club or go out with him, there's at least like 3 girls flirting with him.
He's a man, by the way. I've never seen a man that deserves this more.
What a statement.
We're like slowly closing it up, not because it's like affecting our relationship negatively, but I think the public's perception of our relationship is not good. People make assumptions. They're like, he must be really rich, he must be like abusive, she must like have no self-esteem or
What
self-confidence.
is
And I'm
going
like,
on?
fucks exist, you know, but
Cucks exist. This is kind of crazy. Cucks exist, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is awesome, right? Yeah, like the more genuine I will be, I think the better it'll be able to be more creative. Because like the rest of this is just bullshit. We don't need to say the name. Agents don't need a rendered web page to send a world in a pure mathematically verified state and look directly into their common view so they can no longer feedback given such way. That is hard, that is hard. We do not care. Okay, let's check on the and you worked for 1 minute. This is for the internet. Don't lie. I just updated core dbwriter.py and core2.py to see these instructions into the inheritance and working that use that needs. Updated the ID generation algorithm. Also types of knowledge extraction. And how I use save source plus 6 to try to see cache. Okay. Instead of do ID creating nodes and whatever merge, just touches the node since it was seen at a post-current time, so I can really see the truth. At the end of the ingestion cycle, I added a cleanup phase in the database for the bust cycle query. Interesting. I know that what I see in this latest script is latest equals false. Finally, I updated a SQL vector search to add where is latest equals true and latest is null. This guarantees that you have a major number to see our data and how it affects the database specifically. Here's another check. We are doing GRC adjustments at add context in the case of missing information. So that overnights we're also adding headless crawler sweeps. I've taken information. They might hit the same as an already existing source. And other updates without our permission. And this time the same data as existing data. We put it in workarounds, other cases, and other edge cases. What is this? No one manhandles food like this, man. Like no one slaps their food and shit. This has to be a bot. There's no way. Dangerous education, instruction, and complete the architecture against both humans and resistance saving against this scenario. Try to read the more existing knowledge, now police coaching has be tied to its source now. Dr. Proton is for God, place for little, and with the movements and create support. That's pretty cool. What if you follow that is the same again? Vision of the advance. This is purchasing the vehicle because the vehicle is not in the environment. Well, so quite good. Question now later, the system language with the massive vehicle on time. The hard Gemini token flow. There's updated to add a cipher interception block. Point CPU certifies the GT extraction if it does, it skips the extraction entirely and waits for the headless code into this while we have a clone, so we have a massive machine. Okay. The caller logs the computer cache of every URL that visits to various websites. TTL is an occasion and has a comment to search in the time the caller will retrieve the script the same route once and see. That is solid. If the same is passed, the column does reduce the site, that's where the semantic deduplication takes in. It passes the text RKDB, which is in your society update the last seen at times now. This is so solid, oh my god. This is so solid, holy fuck. Wait, I still need to test it. You're really searching. I love this MCP inspector, by the way. It's so cool. And yeah, so we're currently doing a simple search. We find nothing, and now we've just triggered AGIT ingestion. We only knew about X, the fact that it was owned by Elon Musk. We just triggered AGIT ingestion. Is it showing up here? It seems to be. We triggered a demand for Elon Musk, and now we're initiating a crawl. We found 3 valid URLs from DuckDuckGo, and now it's scraping. That's really interesting. I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting for every single case, it would immediately do a just-in-time search to find more information. But here in this case where we had information but it wasn't related to like a proper document, it immediately triggers a JIT and then just like returns nothing, which is kind of crazy. That was yeah, this is solid. Let's keep it moving. This mission is hard. Okay, we finally have information on Elon Musk. Next time we ask, it should give us something interesting. It's alright, we didn't know. Thinking that she'd release something interesting to me.
I'll be recreating everything you say as uplifting professional language instantly.
Hi, Alex. I can knock them.
Hi, Alex. We'd love to explore opportunities to enhance your time in this Let's collaborate.
That's crazy. If you're soft, you have to become hard right now. Pivot to hardware. All of this might take me over 4 hours of sleep. I'm tired of myself on the team. It took me 19 days for production and everything brings too. I believe he will create like a beautiful movie called 4 Hours of Sleep. I believe it'll be the greatest story ever told. Please relax. Oh wow. I just get told to relax. Oh. When the agent asks about Elon Musk, the database evaluated and triggered the JIT Wikipedia pipeline. However, your database already has Elon's Wikipedia page from a previous ingestion test, because we just applied the JIT token once you mentioned the system called you skip extracting the here, but before that upgrade the text string, the system lied to you and said, trigger JIT ingestion. I just fixed this now. If it skips Wikipedia, it will explicitly tell you Wikipedia fallback will be attempted but lacking specific column discussion. If Elon's Wikipedia page is already in database, why didn't the vector search return the factual because the template properties we just added? So the latest filtering is actually applying itself properly. Okay, to be evaluated, and after fetching the top 3 closest vectors, since the top 3 vectors were all the ones that were filtered out, leaving with 0 claims. After the core trigger to massively expand the vector search radius to 30 neighbors for filtering. You always get the first more relevant claims without truncation. If you restart the MCP server running, it will perform flawlessly. It will probably perform flawlessly because we just like extracted new data anyway. Other than that, the edge cases you've noticed string testing, only it's more step 4. Relax. Supports far-right politics. That's crazy. Okay, so here it just attempted a JIT but it failed. and now it's doing another search on Musk's family. Okay, that's pretty interesting. How do we deal with this appropriately? Because one thing, this will always be like a problem. Like if there's a model that asks like a really niche question about a certain human being, like the human being is relatively famous. Like yesterday I tried searching for Nikita Vu's wife and nothing came up. Now we have like these crawlers that immediately like scrape the internet and then find the exact information that we want. This is a big problem, but it's also, I feel like it's a small problem, because all they relatively need to do is just like wait for data to come back to them, but they're going to be waiting for 2 minutes, which is not what we want. So, but I'm also noticing is that for every new piece of information we add in, that could also be its own, that could also like have its own like document network. Like every wife of Elon Musk that we add in is their own person who's probably like somewhat famous, so we could like do searches on them as well. The more pieces of information we add in, the bigger the entire network we actually like grow, but the more insightful it will become as a consequence. It's really interesting. Knowledge drops are amazing, bro. Oh my god. We're still testing, and I am relaxed, okay? The issue here is that it returned requested. More importantly, I tried to check confidentiality and found nothing from the semantic search. On Wikipedia, let's just give up and return relevant information. Who's possible? The next question I asked is who is Elon Musk's child, latest child. Hopefully they'll give me, what's his name, XAE 15 something 7. One of the scary things about doing is realizing how many of them actually think AI generated AF slot and have no clue about the capabilities of agenda AI. I love them.